Okay, sorry babes, I just really want to show you guys a full body outfit because I am obsessed. Hey YouTube world, it's Mara and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time watching me. Thank you for sticking around. I really appreciate it. Please have some mercy on my hair. It's kind of going through a transitional phase. Obviously, after I bleached it and dyed it black, it does not feel the same. Like, no shit, Sherlock. But I'm trying my best to not go irate and just cut it all off, because I feel like that's what I normally do. And for the first time ever, I'm really trying to force myself to just let it be and just use as little heat as possible and keep using all of the good hair care products. Anyway, yeah, so, and I'm so sick of my fucking bangs. Oh my god, I'm so sick of my bangs, but you know, lesson learned. Anyway, let's get into the actual video. Something that has been coming up in therapy for me a lot is the fear of disappointing people. And honestly, I'm telling you right now, I could probably power the Empire State Building with the amount of anxiety that it creates in me with the thought of disappointing people. And I feel like my therapist, Nora, she's amazing. I cannot rave about her enough. Has helped me completely like see the underlying layers of that, because I feel like, yeah, when like I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I don't like to disappoint people. I don't like people to think that I'm an unreliable friend. I don't like people to think that I'm a bad person. And then as I was telling her that, I was like, wait, I feel like that really just goes into my people-pleasing tendencies. And she was like, yeah, actually it does. And even further, she's like, it kind of goes into this need to be liked by everyone. And I was like, oh, yeah, you hit the what the fuck is that saying? I don't fucking know, okay? What I was trying to say is she was spot on with that one. Because since I was a child, I feel like I came out of the womb wanting to people please. Like, I'm not fucking exaggerating. I feel like I just never wanted to do bad, never wanted to be a bad kid, never wanted to hurt anyone's feelings, never, honestly, just like fucking scared of the world until I was like 23. Not even kidding. But I can literally remember situations when I was a kid, like lying and saying things that I didn't mean because I wanted to spare someone's feelings, or because it's what everyone else was agreeing upon and I didn't want to disagree with the flow of people. And I was just like, gosh, I was just so scared. I was just so scared of standing out. I was so scared of being disliked. I was so scared of being bullied. I was just so scared of everything. And it's funny because I feel like I only really started to dismantle my fear of being disliked, I would say like around like 22, 23. And even then, I was like, okay, it's fine like to be disliked. It's fine if not everyone likes you. But then I still cared about how people perceived me. Girl, this is the same fucking thing. You just reframed it in your brain. And my therapist Nora was like talking about how she went through the same thing, because honestly, it's insane like how our lives like parallel each other right now. Like, I could see that she sees a lot of herself in me, and I definitely see a lot of my patterns in her, where she also went through this phase of like, everyone likes me, like I'm a good person, like no one dislikes me, like I'm nice to everyone, I'm kind. And it's like, I definitely went through that phase. And I think when I thought I was letting the reins go was when I established that it was okay to be disliked, but not me, you know? Like, it's okay for other people to be disliked, but not me, not Mar. I'm a kind person. I'm I'm nice to everyone. I'm caring. I'm compassionate. I'm empathetic. Like, how are people, why would people dislike me? So it's like, or perceive me in a different light. And that's when that's when I realized, like, oh shit. I hadn't dealt with me being disliked. Thus, I'm still people pleasing. Thus, I still have this massive fear of disappointing other people. With also realizing how passively I've been living my life and just going with the flow of what everyone else is doing around me, I'm like, that also is a people pleasing tendency, because I don't want to create any waves. I don't want to create any rifts, because it's easier, or it was easier for me to just go along with the easiest option than to go against the grain and do what I want for myself, and then have to deal with people being disappointed in me because I'm not doing what they want. I'm not doing what they want me to do. And I've gotten to this point where I realize I'm not living for myself. I'm living for everyone else's approval of me. I'm living for everyone else's validation and receiving everyone else's love, I think, to a certain extent, instead of my own. And that's terrible. Just being honest. I don't want to live like that anymore. And like, to a certain extent, I understand in my brain, like, why I was such a people pleaser, why I cared so much about other people's opinions. I hated disappointing people, because it's a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a safety net, I guess. Protective element. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Those are the terms I'm looking for, but I feel like that's the best way I can describe it. Like a protective factor. Like, I used it as a shield, because of course, if you are disliked or you are not accepted in a group, then you are, I don't think it's ostracized, is it? But you are segregated, you're pushed out, you are left to be alone, and you're left isolated. And obviously, I think when you think back to like human development, that meant that person would die off, because evolutionarily you needed a tribe to survive, because obviously hunters and gatherers and all of those things. Anyway, so I can understand why that's like such a protective factor in myself. I guess I just want to reiterate my gratitude for my people pleasing era and my understanding of why I did it, because it was just to keep me safe and not feel alone and isolated and feel like this sense of belonging. And I realized I did it until I realized, like, I belong to me. And like, that's, I don't mean to get all like sappy, but like, that's so beautiful. I feel like there was this point in this weekend where I felt like I didn't belong anywhere. I was like, I don't feel super connected to any sector of people right now. And it made me sad. And as I was crying, I was like, I deeply belong to myself. And I feel like that's probably why I people pleased for so long too, because I and it's so understandable. People just want to have this sense of belonging and that they have community and people. And that felt so scary to me, to just do it by myself. But now realizing how much I care for myself and how much work I've done on myself and how much I deeply belong to myself, and that's good enough. And I feel like that's the crazy part, because I feel like that's why I honored other people's opinions and validation over my own for so long, because my own didn't feel like enough. And now that I feel established and I feel like I can walk on my 2 feet alone and not give a fuck who's following me, that's when this people-pleasing era is so ready to die and just go. I was trying to think of something like nice to say, but nothing nice like is popping up, because I was going to say go roam the earth, but I'm like, that sounds so sad. Just go be yourself. Go let that version of me die and move on. And that is so beautiful because I feel like I'm so ready to value my opinion over everyone else's, and that's enough. That's literally so enough. So then, in understanding that I need to live for myself and I need to make choices for me and my greater good. I'm just kidding. Why does that make me think of Frozone? Yeah, that I need to live for myself. I was like, how do I get okay with letting people down and disappointing others? And that was something that like absolutely paralyzed me, because it was just like, if there was a situation where I'm going to disappoint either way, either decision I make, I would still wait till like the last second, because I was just paralyzed with fear and anxiety of disappointing people, because I knew either way I was going to disappoint someone. And in the wise words of my therapist, Nora, the only way that you become okay with disappointing people is by making the choice that is most authentically you. And that means being true to myself. And I feel like that still sometimes feels so difficult for me to do, and still creates so much anxiety and stress in my body, because I realize for how long I've put my needs and my desires on the back burner and made everyone else's opinion, validation, love a priority over my needs and my wants. And so sometimes it still feels like I'm doing something wrong, even though I know I'm absolutely not. And I think it's sad but true, but I'm pretty sure this also just comes with experience of like, the more people you let down but you're being true to yourself, does that decision begin to feel more safe in your body? Because I think that's the problem with me, where like the decision and choice that I want to make doesn't necessarily feel safe in my body, so I don't want to choose it, even though logically I know that I'm doing the best thing in the situation for myself. And to a certain extent, I feel like maybe I was aware of these things, but I felt incapable and like I lacked the proper tools to be able to handle these kinds of situations in relationships. So I think I continued to play into the people pleasing, the not wanting to disappoint people, the just going with the flow of everything, because I didn't want to deal with the consequences of being true to myself. And I feel like you just genuinely get to a certain point where it's more uncomfortable to keep the blinders on and keep pretending and keep going with the flow than it is to deal with the backlash of being true to myself. I feel like, oh fuck, I forgot who said this, but it was so iconic. It was, oh fuck, I really wish I remember where I heard this or like saw it on the internet. But it was someone saying along the lines of like, when you're people pleasing and you're going with the flow of what everyone else says and just scared of other people's opinions, says you are prioritizing the critic in them instead of the artist in you. And I was like, fuck, that's so true. That's so fucking true. And I feel like I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm tired of not being true to myself in every essence of my life, in my home life, in my artistic endeavors, in social media. Like, I feel like okay, this is gonna explain so much of like who I am. And like, I grew up the girliest of girly girls ever. I like remember being obsessed with the Pussycat Dolls as a little girl. I should not have been watching their music videos on MTV or listening to their music at all in general, but I was obsessed with them, okay? I loved all things skirts, dresses, like girly things, makeup, and I feel like for so long now, I just shut that down to go with the flow of what was acceptable in society and around me, and to be perceived as cool by other people. And I genuinely feel it in my bones that I am so fucking sick of caring. So tired of not prioritizing the artist in me, not prioritizing whatever I want to do and say and wear and dress because I'm scared of other people's opinions of me. And I genuinely, like I said in my last video, I genuinely feel like I'm entering this new chapter of my life, and it's the biggest, like, I don't give a fuck what other people think about me or my life ever. And it feels very freeing, but also very scary. And I'm trying my best to maneuver those two and make them feel safe in my body. So excited. I'm so excited, babes, for this new era of my life. And hopefully hopefully the next few videos I make aren't going to be like super sappy and serious, because I feel like all of these videos that I make are so serious, but it's also stuff that I just need to get off my chest because it's cathartic for me. Anyway, yeah, hopefully we have more fun, lighthearted videos to come in this new era. Besides that, peace and blessings, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.